welcome back to another episode on my channel, Gibby O'Brien. It's me, Jonah, here once again with another Premier League predictions video. This Premier League predictions video is for Game Week 10. Game Week 10 is happening this weekend, starting on with games across Saturday, with games spread across Saturday and Sunday, including a big game on Sunday between a red team and a blue team, divided by a city, divided by a culture, divided by people, divided by football, divided by everything that divides them. But divided by people, divided by a city, divided by football, divided by a history, divided by a culture, divided by players and managers. The Manchester Derby. The red team, as the red side of Manchester host the blue side of Manchester at Old Trafford in the 191st Manchester Derby. And that'll be, I'll give you my predictions for that game at the very end. But until we get to that game, until we get to my prediction for that game, we're going to go through every other game that's been in match week 10 and give you my predictions for them. We're going to go we're going to go as quick as possible. So, first up, game, we have Crystal Palace hosting, we're going to London as Crystal Palace host Tottenham at Selhurst Park. Tottenham, top of the league right now, with 2 points clear of my team Man City in second place. Great result against Fulham, 2-0 away from home, 2-0 at home. They're now away from home and they're playing a difficult Crystal Palace side. I think they will win, Tottenham, but I'm going to say that they only win by one goal and they're going to win 2-1. Both goals for Tottenham will be scored by Son and Maddison, and then for Palace it will be Edouard. And the Palace goal will be scored by Jean-Philippe Mateta. Next up, we have Everton. We have Chelsea. We're staying in London as Chelsea host Brentford. A middle of the table clash as 10th place Chelsea host Brentford. A mid-table clash between 10th and 5th and 14th. Both have had both Brentford and Chelsea haven't had great seasons so far. Brentford and Chelsea definitely could be having better seasons than they are right now. Chelsea picked up a draw though. They did pick up good results in the week just gone, as Chelsea drew 2-2 with Arsenal after losing a 2-0 lead, and Brentford picked up a very good win against Burnley at the GTEC Community Stadium, where they won 3-0. So both are coming in to this game against each other on the back of a good result. It's going to be I don't think it's going to be the most exciting of games, but I am going to back Chelsea to edge it 1-0, with the goal being scored by Raheem Sterling. Next game is we're going to Bournemouth. We're going to the South Coast into the Vitality Stadium as Bournemouth host Burnley. Bournemouth no wins so far this season, and Burnley 1 win in 9 games. So it's not going to be the best of games between Burnley and Bournemouth, and because of that, I'm going to back a goalless draw of 0-0. Next game, we're going back to London. So this is the third time we're going to London. This is the third time we're in London for this weekend, as Arsenal at the Emirates host Sheffield United. Let's get to the point. Sheffield United are not good enough to be in the Premier League, and they're going to win, and they're going to lose 4-0 against Arsenal, with a hat-trick from Saka and a goal from Jesus as well. So with a hat-trick from Saka, and Martinelli will also score. Wolves, Newcastle. Wolves picked up a good result against Bournemouth, coming from a goal behind to win 2-1. A 10-man Bournemouth, but still they came from behind to win 2-1. And Newcastle picked up a good win. Oh, and forgot to mention, Arsenal picked up a decent win during the week when they beat Sevilla in the Champions League 2-1. Speaking of Champions League, let's go back to the Wolves-Newcastle game. So, like I said, Wolves picked up a victory last time out, coming from a goal behind to beat 10-men Bournemouth, while Newcastle beat... While Newcastle beat Palace 4-0. So it's going to be... But they followed that 4-0 winner against Palace with a 1-0 defeat at home to Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. So not great, but they're good enough. Newcastle to beat Wolves. So I'm going to say 3-1. I'm going to say Newcastle win 3-1 with a brace for Isak and a goal for Anthony Gordon. And then for Wolves, it'll be Pedro Neto. Next up, we go to London for the fourth time as West Ham host Everton. West Ham and Everton both lost in the match week just passed. West Ham losing 4-1 to Aston Villa, and Everton losing to Liverpool in the Merseyside derby 2-0. West Ham have played today. I'm filming this on Thursday, and West Ham played today against Olympiacos away from home, at which they lost 2-1. So West Ham are going into the Everton game at home off the back of 2 defeats in all competitions. But Everton are at risk. From what I've heard, is Everton are at risk of a 12 points deduction. Of a minus 12 points deduction, which could really ruin them. I'm going to say West Ham win 3-1 with goals from Jared Bowen with 2, and Ben Rama will also... with goals from Jared Bowen, Ben Rama and Lucas Paqueta. And then for Everton, it will be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We go to Villa Park. We go to Birmingham and Villa Park as Aston Villa, who picked up a 4-1 win in the Champions League today against AZ Alkmaar, which was pretty impressive, after they picked up a very good 4-1 win over West Ham. So they've picked up Villa have gone 2 games in a row where they've won by an aggregate score. 2 games in a row, in the last 2 games, Villa have won by an aggregate score of 8-2. That's 4-1 against West Ham and 4-1 against AZ Alkmaar. Luton picked up a draw, came from 2 goals behind to draw against Nottingham Forest, but you can't bet against Villa at the moment, and they're going to go yet another game at Villa Park unbeaten by winning 2-0, with both goals being scored by their danger man, their striker, Ollie Watkins. We're now off to Brighton and Hove Albion. We're off to Brighton and Hove as Brighton host Fulham at the Amex. We're also going to get straight to the point with this one. Brighton will beat Fulham 3-0. Goals from Matoma, Ansu Fati and Pascal Gross will give Brighton a 3-0 win over Fulham. The penultimate game is at Anfield as Liverpool host Nottingham Forest. In this game between Forest and Liverpool last season, I believe at Anfield, Forest won. I might be wrong, but I believe in this exact same fixture a season ago, Liverpool lost 1-0 to Forest. I might be wrong about that. But Liverpool have come on from leaps and bounds since then. And after that 2-0 win against against their Merseyside rivals, Everton, they followed that up with a 5-1 demolition of French side Toulouse in the Europa League. Forest were 2-0 up against Luton and threw away a lead, so I have to back Liverpool. But I'm only going to back them to just edge the game 2-1. The goals for Liverpool will be scored by Salah and Darwin Núñez, and then for Nottingham Forest it will be Morgan Gibbs-White. So yeah, Liverpool 2, Forest 1. And there's one game left to go. And there's 2 teams we have yet to predict the result of. The team with the the current team with the most Premier Leagues, Manchester United, host the current Premier League champions and treble winners, Manchester City. It's the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. City coming to this game, United, off the back of 3 wins in 3. But they were not convincing. They beat Brentford 2-1, scoring 2 late goals through Scott McTominay. Then they followed that up with a 2-1 win against Sheffield United, where they went 1-0 up, conceded a penalty, and was pegged back at 1-1, and then snatched a late goal through one of their defenders, and beat Palace 2-1. And then on Tuesday, they played Copenhagen and won 1-0. They would have drawn and only won 1-0 because Onana saved a last-minute penalty. And the goal for Man United in that game against Copenhagen was scored by what Man United fans like to call Slabhead Maguire. Harry Maguire scored the goal for Man United against Copenhagen. But again, the Brentford performance, not great, not good. The Sheffield United performance, not good. Against a team like Sheffield United, you should be doing better. As a team like Man United, you should be doing it better than against a team like Sheffield United. And then that game against Copenhagen, they should be ashamed of themselves, United. They should be absolutely ashamed of themselves with that performance. Like, you shouldn't go, you're playing your first game at Old Trafford since the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton, and you put in a performance that he probably wouldn't have liked, a performance that really didn't make anyone, not even United fans, feel better about United this season. But also, to win in the manner that they have won in the past 3 games is unacceptable, and Sir Bobby Charlton would be very disappointed in Man United. So can they pull it off? Can they get back on the right track by winning the biggest game of their season so far? On the other hand, Man City, after losing 2 successive games before the international break to Wolves 2-1 and Arsenal 1-0, they picked up a very good win against Brighton. 2-0 up in the first half through 2 early goals. Would then had a goal pegged back late on to make it 2-1, and then we had a player sent off in Manuel Akanji, who will unfortunately miss the game on Sunday. But then we followed that 2-1 win, that decent 2-1 win against Brighton, with a 3-1 win in Switzerland on an artificial pitch against Young Boys. We took the lead through Akanji, who scored his first goal for Man City, or his first actual goal for Man City, after he was robbed of his first proper goal for Man City last season against Real Madrid in that Champions League semi-final 4-0 victory that he had. One of the greatest performances you'll ever see from a City side ever. But then we were pegged back and drew when Young Boys scored an equaliser through their forward Elia, who scored an exquisite chip over the head of Ederson. And then 2 goals from the big number 9, the guy who people have been criticising this season for the run he went on without scoring. He went 2 games in a row without scoring and came back, but Haaland was able to right the wrongs and scored a wonderful goal against Brighton, and followed it up with 2 very good goals. One from the penalty, with a goal from the penalty spot, a very good penalty, a very well taken penalty, and an absolutely amazing finish to make it 3-1. So yeah, we went 1-0 up through Akanji. Young Boys pegged us back at 1-0 through Elia. Then Haaland scored from the penalty spot to make it 2-1, and then Haaland scored a beautiful goal to make the game on Wednesday. Man City 3, Young Boys 1, which kept City's unbeaten 100% record in the Champions League with 3 wins from 3. So United and City could not be in could not be in as different as could not be in as much could not be as different as where they are in terms of where they are right now. Like, Man City are so far from United right now. This score could be anything. 1-0. It could be Man United could somehow win like 2-1 or 3-1. City could demolish them. It could be 3-0 City, 4-0 City, 6-1 City, 5-0 City, 5-1 City, 4-0 City, 2-0 City. It could be any scoreline. United could win, but they could also lose horribly. What do I think? They will get a goal, and that goal will be scored by Marcus Rashford. He will get his first goal for Man United this season. But City will respond with 5. City will respond with 4 goals. City will win 4-1. United will take the lead through Marcus Rashford. But then the big man will step up and score a hat-trick to add to a Alvarez goal that will win the game. That will win Manchester City, the Manchester derby, by 4 goals to 1. Those are my predictions for Game Week 10 of the Premier League. We're going to go through them one more time and the goal scores of each goal from each game. So, Palace Tottenham, I said 2-1 Tottenham. The goals from Tottenham coming from Maddison and Son, and the goal for Palace coming from Mateta. Chelsea, Brentford, I said 1-0 Chelsea with the goal coming from Raheem Sterling. Bournemouth, West Ham, I said 0-0. Arsenal, Sheffield United, I said 4-0 with a hat-trick for Saka and a goal for Martinelli. Wolves, Newcastle, I said 3-1 Newcastle with a brace from Isaac and a goal from Gordon for Newcastle and a goal from Neto for Wolves. West Ham, Everton, I went 3-1 West Ham with goals from Lucas Paqueta, Jared Bowen and Saeed Benrahma, and the goal for Everton coming from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Villa, Luton, I said 2-0 Villa. I predicted 2-0 Villa with both goals coming from Ollie Watkins. Brighton, Fulham, I predicted 3-0 Brighton with goals from Ansu Fati, Matoma and Pascal Gross. Liverpool, Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest, I said 2-1 Liverpool with the goals for Liverpool coming from Mohamed Salah and Darwin Núñez, and the goal from Forest coming from Morgan Gibbs-White. And then Man City, Man United, I said 4-1 Man United with the goal for Man United coming from Marcus Rashford, and the goals for Man City coming from Haaland with a hat-trick and Julian Alvarez. So those are my Premier League Game Week 10 predictions and my predictions for the scorers of each goal. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this Game Week 10 predictions video, and my next video will be my next video will be next weekend. My next Premier League predictions video will be next weekend, where I will be predicting predicting games like Man United Fulham, Burnley Palace, Man City Bournemouth, Newcastle Arsenal, and Tottenham Chelsea. So those are some of the games that I'll be predicting next week. But until that video, subscribe. But until that Premier League predictions, until my Game Week 11 Premier League predictions video next week, which will be next Wednesday. The reason why this video has been filmed on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday, as it usually is because I wanted to film the Premier League predictions video after all the Premier League teams involved in European football had played in Europe. And those clubs being Arsenal, Newcastle, City, United, Arsenal, and those Premier League clubs being Arsenal, City, United, Arsenal, Newcastle, City, United, Liverpool, Brighton, Villa and West Ham. So I wanted to make my predictions video after every Premier League team involved in Europe played their game in Europe. And they have. So those are my predictions. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, catch up on these videos, and tune in next Wednesday for my Game Week 11 Premier League predictions, where I predict some of the games that I just read out there, like a big clash between two London rivals in Tottenham and Chelsea, a game at the Etihad between Manchester City and Bournemouth, and a big game at Craven Cottage between Man United and Fulham. But until that predictions video, I'm out. This has been Gameweek Brian. Once more, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to catch up with all my Premier League predictions videos and all my Champions League predictions videos. But until next time, I'm out. Peace. Bye.